What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new deck profile. So, today we're going to take a look at my branded Dragonmaid deck profile. I'm going to use this deck profile in the upcoming regionals. It is tomorrow. So, yeah, I went to locals today and it went pretty good actually. I walked, or I dueled seven. We had 5 rounds and I came out with what's it called? I won 2 duels and got 1 draw. And one of the duels that I won was with against Sprite. So I actually don't know, but again my opponent bricked a little bit, so yeah, that also had something to do with it. But yeah, to the cards. So to begin up, I'm using 3 copies of Chamber Dragonmaid. Chamber Dragonmaid in this deck profile is actually a good searcher. Not for the branded part, but still for the little Dragonmaid part I'm using. Then we are using 3 Parlors again to, for example, cast Chamber to the deep seas of the deep seas of darkness. So yeah, she works like a what's it called? The spell card. I can't remember. Anyways, moving on to 1 copy of Nurse Dragonmaid. Nurse is actually just a good monster reborn to reward one of our Dragonmaids, and the last Dragonmaid monster for the small ones is Kitchen. Again, she's just in here to search a little bit. Then I'm using one of each of the bigger dragons, 1 Loha, 1 Tinkek, and 1 Ernest. So yeah, that is actually the Dragonmaid part of this deck profile. Then for the branded, I'm using 3 copies of Fallen of Albas. This monster is one of the best monsters you can use in a branded deck profile, of course, again, because of a lot of the extra deck mechanics. Then I'm using 1 copy of Aluber, the Jester of Despia. He is one of the best searchers in this deck profile, because you can just normal summon in him, and if you don't get Ash Blossomed, well, then you can go for your branded fusion. Then we're moving over to the Despia part actually, and I'm first off using 1 Dramature of Despia. Again, Despia is also a good part of this deck profile, and again the same with 1 Despian Comedy and Despian Tragedy. These cards are just, some of the better cards in this deck profile. Then I'm using 1 copy of Ad Libitum of Despia as well. And no, I punched the camera. No. Not again. Okay, 1 Ad Libitum of Despia. Again, these cards are just perfect in this deck profile because you need Despia to some of the fusions, but also they can summon themselves if they has been used. Then I'm using 1 copy of the Tuna Monster Incredible Eclisa the Virtuous something. She's a good monster in general because tribute her and special summon 1 Sword Soul monster or 1 Fallen of Albas from your hand or deck profile or your deck. That's what I was about. That was I mentioned to say. But she is in general a good card. Then I'm using 1 Dark Honest again to inflict a little bit of damage because it is just like Honest, just 2 dark monsters to let a dark monster gain attack to your opponent's monster. And yeah, that is basically everything to it. Then 1 Starly Serpent, a light monster in this deck profile, and also a dragon. Pretty useful. one keeper of Dragon Magic to search for our fusions, and then I'm using one Dasher and one Celestial in this deck profile, most likely because, well, of DPE. Then to the hand traps, I'm using one copy of Effect Veiler and two copies of Ash Blossom. I figured out, actually, I'm not saying that you should, but in the most cases, I I'm fine that I'm only using two Ash Blossoms in this deck profile and one Effect Fatal because I don't need to go for my hand traps so often. But yeah, let us continue to the spell cards. So starting up, we have one changeover, of course, to fusion summon some dragons, and then two hospitalities to special summon our dragons. And for the branded part, we're using three branded fusions. This is the best spell card to this deck profile. And in the most cases, let's say an example, 10 out of, because I hand tested this deck, 10 out of, or 7 out of 10 times when I did a hand test, I'm shaking the selfie stick, okay? 10 out of those, what's it called? 10 out of those times, I got a branded, or 7 out of those times, I got a branded fusion in my start hand, which is pretty good because then I don't have to search for it. And if I'm trying to search and I get ashed, well, I can just activate it from my hand. Then the next one, branded opening. This is actually one of the best spell cards in this deck profile. Not gonna lie, because special summon one, discard one card to take one Despia monster or special summon it. Either you can search for a Despia or you can special summon it. It depends on what situations I am in. But in most cases, I'm going to search for a Despia. Then one branded in white to perform fusions. Then a branded bond to special summon our Albas. One normal polymerization because I'm using Guardian Chimera in this deck profile. Then one super polymerization, I just punched the selfie stick. Again, one small world and one fusion destiny. Small world in this deck profile is actually not that good. I needed space for spell cards to summon some cards, and I will say maybe small world isn't that bad now when I'm thinking about it because you are going to banish either way, and you know what you're going to banish, so you can just shuffle it back in. Then for the trap cards, 2 seconds. We have 4 traps in this deck profile. And the first 3 are, of course, free Dragonmaid tie-dye to return our opponent's cards to his hand, and one branded banishment. Branded banishment in this deck profile is awesome to have. And yeah, if you can see, I didn't do it today, but because I've just added this card to the deck profile today, because I found it and I want to, and it was already in a sleeve, and I thought it was in the real sleeve, but you can see that there's a pretty big difference on the sleeve, because this is more, what's it called, solid in the, or this is more, matte in the color, and this is more flat and massive. But yeah, I will change the sleeve, of course. But yeah, guys, that was everything for the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, one Dragonmaid Sheo and one House Dragonmaid for the Dragonmaid part. I'm not summoning Sheo so often, so I'm using only one of her. Then for the branded part, we are moving into 2 Albions. Albion, the branded dragon, is one of the best cards to start out to fusion summon, because you can fusion summon this monster, then fusion summon again, then fusion summon again. You can begin a combo, a massive combo. Then we are using one Lubellion, the Searing Dragon. Again, summon first Albion, then Lobelian, and then you can go in for your Mirror Jade. One copy of that as well. Now for the Despia monsters, we're using one Despia and a Quaritus. And then we're using one Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. This is one of the best cards in this extra deck, because each time your opponent will activate an effect, they need to pay 600 life points. And for another Alba's Dragon, I am hoping to get another copy of this card. It's one Alba Lenatus the Abyss Dragon. This is one of the most insane fusions because it works like Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon that can just steal your opponent's monsters if they are the right type. And instead of maybe Small World, I'll try to find a DNA surgery and then call dragons, because then I can easy get this bad boy out. Then I'm using one Starving and Fusion Dragon and one Predaplant Dragon Stapelia. And again, one Guard and Chimera and one TPE. And for the last cards, they are actually not fusions. To begin with, I'm using one, the Zombie Vampire, because a lot of the fusions are level 8, and if I'm not going to use them furthermore, fine, overlay them into this bad boy and just screw with your opponent's deck, because activate this monster's effect to show the top 4 cards, special summon one monster among them. And the last card is one Blackluster Soldier of Chaos. I will also soon upload a Crystal Beast deck profile. I finally got everything to that, so yeah. But yeah, guys, that was everything for my branded Dragonmaid deck profile. I will say this deck profile is actually super good because you can do a lot of stuff with the fusion mechanic in this deck profile, and I just love it. But yeah, guys, if you love this video as well, then make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe. I lost my thread right there. I didn't know what I was going to say. Like, subscribe. And again, you can always change your mind if you don't want to be subscribed anymore. But we are with heavy footsteps roading to 10 subscribers. So please, guys, subscribe. And one day, hopefully, 100,000 subscribers. Right now, I only have 8, but I hope to be able to get around 100k subscribers one day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see each other next time. Peace out.